I want to touch on a little
Sure.
sensitive point, especially now with all these Black Lives Matter situation
Yes.
and what has happened
Yes.
recently with the George
George Floyd murder.
Floyd
Correct.
murder. You were in a phenomenal position to make fantastic decisions, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And no one could have predicted that we would have a law enforcement officer in Minneapolis murder a black man and on a international scale, because everyone's seen this event, and how it would impact Broward County, or how the two would cross paths, me being appointed as the first black man, and then we have this major call for police reform related to a black man being murdered. No one anticipated that, and that's nothing that we could have thought of. But I will tell you, coming into the organization, having been a young man in the inner cities that we talked about, I've been that kid slammed against the ground unjustly and had a police officer put their knee on my neck.
So you understood exactly what was happening.
It hurt. It hurt to see it. I not only understood it, I understood it better than most. I knew what it felt like to gasp for air in hope that someone shows you humility, that hopes that someone recognizes you as a human being and give you an opportunity to be alive. I knew that firsthand. So it was devastating to see. It just took me back to, when I was 16 years of age, leaving practice, and that's when I had my first encounter of being slammed on the ground. But what I also knew was the importance of what I had already instituted into the agency that would make sure that doesn't happen. Coming into the organization, I didn't repeat the mistakes of the past, which is previous sheriffs come in, they bring all their friends from outside the agency, they promote individuals in command staff roles that don't understand the culture, who haven't served 10, 20, 30 years in the organization. Instead, I walked in basically day one by myself. Think about that. The Broward Sheriff's Office, for those who don't know, is comprised of over 5,500 employees.
Wow.
We have over 1,300 square miles that we are responsible for. I have 700 plus personnel that are fire rescue. I have the Department of Law Enforcement. I have the Department of Detention. We provide security for the airports as well as the ports. So this is, and we operate almost under $1 billion operating budget. This is a massive organization.
It is
To
definitely.
walk in by yourself takes a great level of faith in yourself, but also understanding what the quality of people is that actually work for this organization. And so I promoted the most diverse command staff in 105 years.
And the couple times that I came there for meetings and religious interfaith programs, etc., I must say I recognized the power of the diversity that you got there.
Yes, it's visible. It's very much visible.
Powerful.
It's very much visible, and we wanted it to be that way. When I looked at the talented folks in the organization, we had minorities of all backgrounds who have been waiting and waiting for an opportunity. I promoted the first female undersheriff. The number 2 in command of this organization is a black female.
Interesting.
We've never had that. And it created some, a lot of people say, hey man, he's really shaking this place up. And I said, I'm not shaking it up, I'm building it up.
Yeah.
I'm making it better. For the first time in our command staff organization, we have Hispanics that are part of colonels and leadership roles. Last year, we had over 400 plus promotions. Half of them been women. These are significant changes. And I must say, there's been a lot of comments when you pay attention to Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
They say, hey, who's the major everywhere he goes? My major, my executive officer, the most senior ranking official on the 5th floor with me on the office of the sheriff, is Major Munib Ahmed. And his nickname is Benny. He's the first Indian American to be in an administrative.
Well, the first time I saw him,
role.
I thought he was Hispanic.
That's also confusing.
He has
too.
a very diverse look also.
He has a diverse look, but he's very talented.
Yes.
Here's a man
yes.
that speaks 7 languages, has been in this organization for
Wow.
18 years, and we just didn't capitalize on that type of talent and skills. And so having that diverse command staff has resulted in several key things. First,
So I think we need to be talking to him one of these good days on our show.
You absolutely have to have the major here one-on-one.
Munib Ahmed, Major Munib Ahmed, his
he's got
achievement, his success,
He's
and what
got
he's
to
doing.
tell his story. If you think my story is interesting, you have to hear his.
Wow.
He came here with his family, the successes behind what he did, And he too was an entrepreneur
Okay.
and successful in his own right with businesses. But I'm not going to tell his story. You need to get him back on this show.
You will have